So I'm
Yeah,
here with the Vanilla Gorilla, Jason Witt. Jason, how you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic, man. Just got done with training. Tiring, yet totally worth it. What about yourself, man? How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Busy day with a couple of interviews, actually, but just getting
Good.
on. Fighting 13th of March against
Yeah.
Matthew Demmelsberger. What do you know about
Yep.
him?
Not much. 7-2, ex-football player. Not much. Doesn't have too much experience. I think my experience doubles his at least.
Yeah.
Good striker. I haven't seen a lot of wrestling takedowns from him. Just basic Muay Thai striker, 1-2-3 type guy, which I fare really well against.
Without giving away too much, what's the game plan going to be?
I'll give away everything. I don't give a shit. It's gonna happen no matter what. Yeah, kind of similar to my last fight. We plan on kind of fitting in early, grinding it out. He's a big power puncher, so wear him down a little bit. Just grind him against the cage, take him down. Maybe if I can carry him across the cage like I did last fight, that'd be cool. I'm not mad about it. But yeah, just beat him up everywhere. I really feel that I'm a better fighter, and when it comes down to it, that I'll showcase what I'm capable of.
How is camp going at the minute? Have you been affected too much by the new spike in the pandemic, or has it been pretty smooth?
No, not at all. Man, we've even when the pandemic first started, we just kept training. Like we didn't stop. Like a week or two, the gym was shut down. But after that, we just kept grinding. James Krause is really about when people slow down and people want to take a break, but we just ramp it up. So we're ahead of them when this all comes out. But no, it's 2020 was probably one of my best years. Actually, I had a lot of success in 2020, and with the pandemic and all that stuff, we just kept going, kept training. So I haven't had any problems with it. I've actually had better training and better intent behind my training than I ever had before.
I was going to ask you about James, actually, because he's a guy that UFC fans are so familiar with, like fighting. But what's he like behind the scenes in the coaching side of things?
Nonstop.
Yeah.
Dude is nonstop. His goal is to make people uncomfortable with him how much stuff he does. And if you look at the guy, you're around him, you're like, man, it's not uncomfortable. I don't think for the people who stay around him, it's not uncomfortable. It's motivating. It's like, well, this motherfucker's doing all this stuff. Like, why can't I? You know, I mean, if you look at the guys he's hung out, his ex-partners are business owners now. You know, I mean, a lot of people open this, so he's super motivating, super helpful, but he's nonstop, man. The dude just doesn't take a break. You're
building a great team down there at Gloria May at the minute, aren't you? Obviously, you got Megan fighting for the title. You got Grant Dawson as well. How has that grown, and how has the training grown with that?
It's stayed the same. You know, we got to where we are because we're a blue collar team that just works our asses off. There's nothing sexy. There's nothing. And the new people that come into our gym, they realize that real quick, that this is not the workload we put in is different than everybody. And it's no different whether it's an amateur fighting for his first fight or Megan Anderson fighting for the title. It's everybody's grinding as hard as they can. And people are just getting better and better every day.
So we last saw you in the cage in October. So it's a fairly quick turnaround, to be honest. How has the mentality been of like going straight from one fight to the next fight? Is that something you're used to, or do you normally have breaks longer than that?
No, man, I'm used to it. I'm used to fighting. So I fight 70, so I'm a pretty small 70, so I can make weight pretty quickly. So I'm used to going from, you know, if I can get a fight 1 month, get a fight 2 months later, like I'm used to that. This 12-week camp stuff. I'm not used to actually having a camp, a game plan to sit down and go into camp. I might have like 3 or 4 weeks, 6 weeks tops. I think it's the longest I've had between a fight that I wanted, or like a named opponent. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm not used to the 12, 13 weeks. Like just wait. It's really paid off dividends. I mean, if you notice, I had a 48-hour notice fight. I had a 12-week fight and I smoked that dude. So the waiting a little bit longer definitely helps me out a lot more. I get to train a lot more intentional.
Yeah, you mentioned there that you're a small 170. Is 155 a possibility, or are you happy not cutting that weight at the minute?
Honestly, I'm happy not cutting that weight.
Yeah.
But I know if it's better for my career, it's something I have to do.
Yeah.
And I get into the institute to take the test to see if it does benefit me to go to 155. I mean, that's size-wise, it's where it should be. I've cut to 55 before. I've cut to 60 before. I've done all that stuff. But to get in the UFC, we knew it was be a short notice fight, so we had to take it at 70.
Yeah.
But 55 is a possibility. I'm definitely in for it. I don't want to, but I know that's what's beneficial in my career, and that's what I'll do.
More so the second fight than the first fight. How has the pandemic fight week experience been?
Super chill. You don't really have a choice. I mean, you're kind of stuck in a hotel room for the first day, and then just hanging out with friends, just hanging out with, Grant Dawson, Trey Ogden, all those people, James Krause, just relaxing. We might go to the mall a couple times, but nothing crazy. It's really different. Fight weeks kind of just chill, not a lot of training, just relaxing, go to the PI Institute, get a massage, or just kind of get settled into the fight. It's really not much different. They make just little more regulations.
Do you enjoy fighting without fans?
I do. If you notice, I picked him up and carried him right back to my corner just so I could hear. And you could hear him no matter what. But if there's a point in the fight where I cut Cole Williams, and James like, "Oh, you got a nice cut on his face." I was like, "Yep." Just right in front of him, so I was like, we're having a conversation. It wasn't much different, but I enjoy fans. They pump you up. They feel really good. They're fun when you slam people or stuff like that. But at the same time, I'm in there to win. I'm in there to listen to what James says, not what the fans say.
Yeah. I watched that Cole Williams fight again last night, and that was super.
Oh, man.
Hell yeah. Did that fight help kind of brush away the UFC jitters, as they talk about, after what happened in the first fight?
I'm not a fan. I'm not a believer in UFC jitters. I think that's just an excuse for not performing the way you should. And you know what? My UFC debut, I didn't do very well in, but I think that was because of the weight cut. I wasn't prepared for it. It was, and that's my excuse. I'm not making excuses. I lost, and that's what happened. But I don't believe jitters are really a thing. I mean, I think that's just an excuse for like an insecurity of losing.
So you fought on that Halloween card. Were you able to interact with Anderson Silva at all the week of the fight?
A little bit. So I'm in and I'm walking down the stairs, and I walk by, and I'm like, try to give him a fist bump, and he just keeps walking upstairs. I'm like, oh damn, okay. He turns around, he's like, oh no, I'm so sorry. He's like fist bump. He's like, all right, cool. Like, he's a super nice guy. And then I ended up seeing him at weigh-ins, and he was like 3 or 4 rows in front of me, and he waves at me, and he's like, hey, how are you? I'm like, Anderson Silva's waving at me, like, what? Hey, like, so a little bit interaction with him. Super nice guy. No picture, nothing. Didn't really have a conversation, but at least I got to run into him and just kind of know who he was.
That's awesome, man. Does that things like that bring a bit more inspiration to you? Because like obviously you're in the UFC with these guys now.
I'm gonna say no. I don't think I'm one of the people that need inspiration to fight, to be in the octagon. My inspiration is my goals of what I want to accomplish. Yeah. Anderson Silva doesn't help me with that, so it's inspiration. It is cool to meet somebody who's accomplished things I like to accomplish. So that's motivating. So I guess it is inspirational just because you've seen them do it. But when it comes to cage, he's not helping me. So it is what it is.
Let's go back a little way now. What first motivated you to start martial arts and then MMA?
That's a good question, man. I had an ex-girlfriend at one time, and I told her, I just want to fight. And she's like, why are you're so stupid. Why do you want to fight? And I'm like, I don't want to. I'm not a violent person, but even when I was like 17, 18, I just wanted to fight for the competition. I just enjoyed it. I don't necessarily hurting people, but I enjoy the competition of who's better. And my uncle used to be a professional kickboxer and boxer, so I kind of just took after him a little bit and found an MMA gym. And once there, I just kept training, just kept working, and then got to here.
Yeah, so what sort of frame of mind do you prefer to be in when you're fighting? Are you one of these guys who likes to be calm, or do you like to hype yourself up? I think I know the answer based on your last fight.
What do you think?
I saw after that fight you seemed to get quite hyped, so I was going to say you quite like to hype yourself up a bit.
After the fight, I'm super hyped. Like it's just a big stress relief off you. But before the fight, I like to be calm. Yeah. I'm hyped enough as it is. I'm ready to go as it is, and to be able to calm myself down helps out a little bit. And I've worked through that throughout the years of I've been super hyped, and I wear myself out, or I'm super hyped, and it just doesn't go the way I want it to. But to be calm and collected going in there, I just feel I find a flow state a little bit better. I find a little bit more relaxed, a little bit better shots in the fight. So to be calm before the fight is great. To be hyped after it, I'm let's go. I'm in.
What sort of music do you like listening to? Maybe in the back or to calm yourself down before the fight?
Yeah, that's normally a James Krause thing. He normally throws on whatever. I'm not really. I'm a huge music guy. I love music. I listen to a lot of different like country and hip hop and stuff like that. So I have a wide range. But James Krause usually when it throws on the playlist in the back, and he always has something different for me. So I'm pretty excited. It's always like I'll text him like a week later, like, hey, whatever playlist you had playing in the back, like send me that so I can listen to it. Because he has a wide range.
So what, like away from fighting, a couple of questions. What is your go-to cheat meal?
Minsky's Pizza. It's a local pizza place in Kansas City. We used to live. We could walk to it in like 3 minutes, so it was perfect. So we just ordered it, walk to it, pick it up. It's some of the best pizza I ever had. It's my go-to. It's what I got to do.
Found anywhere that compares in Vegas then for after the fight or not yet?
No. Normally they just send us food or something. I like burger last time. Nothing crazy. There's a place I really like. It's called Skinny Fats. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of that, but they have like a healthy menu and a fat menu, like a skinny menu and a fat menu. So it's pretty cool. I'd like to actually open one in Kansas City just because I think it'd do really well. But yeah, it's a pretty cool place. We went there probably 3 or 4 times that week of fights. I didn't eat every time, but I ate, after the fight, I had a burger or whatnot.
So away from the cage, when you're just at home watching fights, studying, what fighters do you like to watch?
I'm a huge fan of TJ Dillashaw. I really like it. He's really fun and athletic and kind of, I don't fight like him, but I really would like to. So to study that is something I really like to do. George St. Pierre is kind of been like, I've idolized him throughout my entire career. And I think we're very similar. Like we didn't wrestle in high school, but both really good wrestlers, both very athletic and just kind of students to game. So I really idolize a lot of my career on him. So I like to watch him a lot in terms of training.
I think everyone I've asked this question to has said George St. Pierre. So
yeah, I mean he's just the most well-rounded fighter. Like you can pick apart striking, his jab, you can pick his wrestling, his timing. He's just such a well-rounded fighter. There's a key to everybody's game inside George St. Pierre's game.
You mentioned TJ as well. His suspension's up now. Are you excited to see him get back in there?
I am, but I'm just there's an asterisk next to it now. It just kind of it's painted for me. I don't know why. It's just and we all know he was doing it. We all he admitted it. Yeah. It is, but you've seen a lot of guys when USADA came in. There's a lot of guys that started getting a lot worse in fights. So we're gonna see is that the way he's gonna be, or like is the same TJ Dillashaw was.
So going back up to your division, what welterweights do you think of that maybe are in the pipeline for you? If you presuming you beat Matthew Semelsberger, what's next for you?
When I beat Matthew Semelsberger?
Yes.
Mike Perry. I want to fight Mike Perry. I don't. Everybody calls out Mike Perry. I know it's cliche to call him out, but I've wanted to fight him. We've talked about like, hey, if your debut fight was this, who would you want to fight? I was like Mike Perry. I don't know why. I just think that would be a banger fight of the night. Like he stands and throws, and I have a lot of power too. So I think one of us is going to fall over. So I think that'd be a fun fight.
You gonna try and take him down?
Oh, I'd absolutely take him down. Are you kidding me? Everything. Let him back up, hit him again. Like it's fine with me, but we're gonna win regardless.
So, what ideal scenario? March 13th. How's the fight? How's the fight gonna go? And
ideal situation: we touch gloves, he falls over. We touch gloves, he falls over. That's ideal. That's perfect. Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Ideal situation. The game plan goes as planned. It's the way I want it to go. I plan on finishing him. I think I'll grind him out the first round, just like I did Cole, and then I think I'll finish him in the second. I think I know that the way I've been training, my ground and pound is improved, and we've worked on a lot of things off the Cole Williams fight that's going to add into this. I'm levels above where I was for the Cole Williams fight, and I've seen that in the past couple of weeks. And I truly believe that my game is definitely different than it was that last fight too. So,
just quickly, Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier this weekend. How do you see that fight going?
The fans win no matter what. Who cares? But if I'm betting the house, Conor McGregor, you can't bet against him. I think his boxing range is just. He's too good. I think Poirier's definitely fought a lot tougher competition in the last couple of fights and been a lot more active. And he's definitely gotten a lot There's no doubt about that. But he's still getting hit a lot. And Conor McGregor, most people don't stand up. They fall over, especially 155. He has a, 195er at the time he fought Conor harder. But I think Conor starches him in the first 2 rounds.
And what about Hooker and Chandler?
I have no idea. Honestly, I think Hooker sleeps with the knee. I think Chandler's going to come in. I think Hooker just catches him with that knee.
Yeah.
So
just lastly, this time next year, where's Jason Witt going to be in the UFC?
Top 15.
Top 15?
Top 15.
Yeah. So you're looking to have an active year, get a couple of wins? Yeah.
I'd like to string 3 or 4 wins in this year.
Yeah.
And I think that propels me up to, hopefully my next fight is in January. And so around this time we'll be fighting, and hopefully I'll be fighting for a ranked opponent.
Yeah. Awesome, man. I want to thank you for the time. Any shout outs, or where can people follow you, keep up with what you're doing?
The Manila Gorilla, _Vanilla Gorilla on Instagram. I think it's the Van Gorilla. MMA. I'm not on Twitter too often. I really need to get onto that. Shout out to Glory MMA and Fitness, James Krause, all the guys over there. Iridium, my agency, Joe Wooster, Jason House, Jacob Praga. All those guys helped me out quite a bit. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for the time tonight, man. Best of luck.
Hey, Steve, appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.